Hello, welcome back to another Thousand Show. I'm Jacob J Book Corner, and today we're doing the end of the year book tag. I'd like to mention before we jump into this, there's obviously chapter times with every question, but also the original person who created this tag or whoever I got it from, whatever it might be, I'll link them down below with the questions and the prompts in case you want to do the same for any ways. I'm sure people do this on Bookstagram, Book Talk, whole nine yards. So let's go ahead and sit down and talk about some of these questions. There are like 6 in total, but let's get started. The first one is any books that you started this year that you need to finish, and at this very moment in time, the only 2 I could really go and find. The only ones I have are Broken Perfect Lies by Katie Weismer, which I'm finishing for a video, and then Family Lore, which I'm also finishing for a video. Broken Perfect Lies, I originally was going to do a full spoilerly vlog for. I normally do that for a Katie Weismer book, and hopefully in 2024 I can start that back up again because I really do miss it. That's just not going to happen. It's going to be a part of a vlog that I'm doing. I'm really loving it so far. There was no particular reason other than the fact I had no time to sit down to do like a full-length spoilerly vlog. Every time I picked it up, I found something else that would need to pop up even sooner, and so that's really what the answer came down to. Family Lore, I had heard such mixed things about the entire story overall that I kept getting nervous, and so I'd read the first like 10% and then I'd be like, oh, maybe not. Then I'd go back and then I'd read the next 10% and I'd go back. So I think I got like 40 or 30% in, and I realized that the book just wasn't for me. Definitely something I wanted to finish because I love Elizabeth Alcedo and I love her writing, so I really vibed with the writing. I just wasn't really vibing with like literally anything else with the story. So it's something I definitely will finish. Once again, they're for the same video. Next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition to the end of the year with? Once again, this is the reason why it's a question normally pops up in October to November, just because November is the starting of winter. Now we're in December. Picked out 2, one that felt more fall-like, that could be like a good transitional, then one that was like directly winter related. So the fall one was The Witch and the Vampire by Francesca something. I don't really remember exactly what this one is about, but anything with witch and vampire, and I know it's gay, and it looked very like cozy, like in a foresty type of cover. And obviously the writing retreat, which is very winter. I'm doing that one for Let's Solve a Murder Together, which I'm really excited about, and really excited to get to it. It's one of my most anticipated thrillers, and same thing, I just keep finding reasons not to read it yet, and that will be changing very soon. So I'm very excited to read both of those before the year is up. The next question is there any reviews you're still waiting for? So I pulled out 3, and let's talk about each of them. So the first one we'll talk about is Happy Place by Emily Henry. This one I'm so excited to read just because I've really enjoyed every Emily Henry I've read in the past. This one, and then People We Meet on Vacation, which I'm going to read next year. That being said, I'm really looking forward to this. I don't really know what it's about per se. I know it's about like 2 people, Harriet and Wynn, have been a perfect couple since college. Oh, then they break up, they have to go on this trip and no one knows they're broken up, and so they have to play fake dating, and maybe they end up together. I'm very excited, and we'll see how it goes. The next one I have physically is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. Obviously this is on this list. Will it be read in December? I don't know. This is a very thick baby, so I don't know. I'm half tempted to pick it up immediately every time I see it, but I'm so nervous to read it because it's her first adult fantasy, and I love Cassandra Clare so much. I'm running out of books of hers outside of that, like outside of rereads, so like that's also no reason to push it off to 2024 because she hasn't announced a title for 2024 yet, and there was 2 that came out this year, so the likely chance of me getting another one next year is slim. This might be a 2024 release that I'm just excited to like read it from a backup. I'm so excited to read it nonetheless. Then we have Charming Young Man, which I didn't know was coming out. This is from the same author who wrote The Darkness Outside of Us. It was a sci-fi book. This is not. This is actually set back in the 1800s, and it's about a painter, I think. But I'm really looking forward to it. It actually got bumped up to a 5-star prediction because I loved his other one. And he doesn't write many adult/young adult fantasy or fiction at all. He normally is a child writer. He writes a lot of books for children. Him writing something new is just so exciting to me. And so, yeah, we'll see if I can get to it. I mean, I will be getting to it, but we'll see how much I love it. I'm very looking forward to reading it, though. Historical fiction, I don't really get along, so I'm nervous about it, but I'm so looking forward to it. All right, the next question are, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? And this is a cop-out, okay? But I have to read so many of them, which I'm loving, and so I'm looking forward to reading. Don't get me wrong, it's not a challenge. It's just like, it's a lot, and that's Percy Jackson. I've already talked about me reading all Percy Jackson. If you guys, but that being said, I'm super duper looking forward to reading more Percy Jackson. I've read the first 4 books so far, and I really enjoyed them, and so the rest of the series, that includes the House of Olympus series, the Chalice of the Gods, which just came out, the Trials of Apollo series, and The Sun and the Star, which is like a novella, or not novella, it's like a standalone that's set in the universe. I'm looking forward to all those. I don't know what I put up on the screen, probably just Percy Jackson, Lightning Thief, if I'm being honest with you, but I'm looking looking forward to reading the rest of that series. The next question, is there a book you think that could shock you being your favorite book of the year? To be honest with you, I don't. I do think my favorite book of the year, which I've talked about on this channel multiple times and keeps going back and forth between two sequels. That's the only reason why I don't think it's not a standalone. If I have read a standalone, I'm like, oh my god, that's my favorite book of the year. Like it was for one point. It's my third favorite book of the year, is with the original standalone that was number one when I read it back in like March or January. And I was like, this is it. This can't be topped. And then it was topped by sequels because I had context with previous characters, context with previous writing. It's different. The likely chance is a Percy Jackson book could pop out to be a favorite book of mine that I want to constantly reread. That's a possibility. Hasn't happened yet, but it's a very good possibility. And then, of course, Charming Young Man, which we talked about, could be a new potential favorite of mine because I just absolutely loved The Darkness Outside of Us so much. And of course, if I do get to the Cassandra Clare, there's a good chance this could be my favorite book of the year just because it's Cassandra Clare and adult fantasy and had so many questions. All those are possibilities, do not get me wrong. The likely chance of my number one being tackled is like real hard. Like my number one has been sent to so many people on a list of like books to get me for Christmas. It's ridiculous. Hopefully people are talking. This is just a pretty straightforward question. I want to say this is mostly for content creation, this tag, because the last question is, have you already started making plans for next year? And the answer is that I'm always making plans for next year. I have 5 videos going on that won't see the light of day until May. I'm making plans. I'm very excited to continue to make those plans. We have a lot of series videos where we're reading an entire series in a single video or something along those lines and talking about it and just enjoying reading. It's a very big thing. We have a few of those coming up very soon or over in the next year. I have other videos. Obviously, I'm trying to figure out what my first book of the year is going to be. I have this whole thing, if you don't know, on my channel in case you're new. I vlog my first book and I vlog my last book. I've been doing it for the past like year or so. This is my second year doing it. I'm excited to do it for my third year. This year, I recommend watching that video because it was a bit of a clusterfuck because like I ended up reading 2 books. I DNF one, I finished one that I really hated. So we're hoping to end on a high note is the plan. But I'm super duper excited and I am content creating for next year for sure. I have a few other things coming up, but we'll talk about that in my bookish goals later on this month. That being said, let me know you guys' answers to all these questions. I'd love to know, especially even if you don't content create, is these questions I still think go towards you except for that last one. Let me know in the comments down below. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll talk to you guys on next time. Thanks for watching and goodbye.